The last right line of DBT05, Majesty Lord Blaster himself. Greetings YouTube, welcome back to another video. This is probably the second last video for DBT05. Of course, there's still the final week video I have to do, which will probably be coming up tomorrow, I guess. But then again, I will be pumping up all this video like no tomorrow. I know that there's a lot of some reviews from the Tuesday stream as well as just today. The card today actually reviews quite a sizable stuff. I will be doing those videos after I finish wrapping out everything, so do stay tuned for that. In any case, in this video we will be going through one of the original boss unit from back in the OG series, Majesty Lord Blaster. Sadly, he is not really special. Now, before you dislike the video, I'm sure you already know what Majesty Lord Blaster does, and I'm pretty sure that you will feel like he's okay and not really special. In any case, let's take a look. And of course, with any blaster deck, there's always the dog being the starter, Wingal Brave. The generic starter, really nothing much to talk about other than just a really nice art. I mean, it's a dog with a hair. That's basically it. And a sword, that is. Nothing much, let's move on. The Grade 1, Little Sage Marron. Although when this unit is rolled upon by a Grade 2 with Blaster in its card name, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to one Grade 2 with Blaster in its card name from among them, reveal it and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. If you did not reveal a card, choose a Wingal Brave from your soul and you may call it to Rearguard Circle. Continuous Rearguard Circle. During your turn, if you have 3 or more units, this unit gets 2k power. That's it. Okay, so this card, it's of course it could serve as the right line. You could also run extra copies in the main deck just to have like a 10k booster or attacker, but I don't think there's a need for that. You have other better units to be run in a Blaster deck. So it's either you will want to filter out a Blaster Dark or Blaster Blade from the deck. It's free, so does not really matter. Either Blaster Dark or Blaster Blade could be considered running in the right deck to basically just ride, because both of them does trigger Little Sage Marron's skill. The free 5k booster here is actually really nice if you don't get any blaster from the top 7. The 5k booster here is basically just Wingal Brave being called from the soul. I mean, it's okay, it's not really going to be affect a lot, just that if you put Wingal Brave behind the Vanguard, it's going to be a 13k, which means that a 15k is still a 1 to pass, so I guess it's quite okay. I mean, not really great support. I mean, it's basically just for nostalgia, I would say, but it's actually still quite strong. Moving on, Blaster Blade. Of course, this card was the first card being revealed for the whole DBT05, and it's basically just the original skill with extra stuff. Although when this unit is placed on Vanguard Circle, cost Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rearguard and retire it. If you did not retire, draw a card. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle, cost Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's Grade 2 or greater rearguard and retire it. This is actually kind of similar to Blaster Dark, but then Blaster Dark, you need to retire your own rearguard in order to retire your opponent and then get the Twin Drive or something. But for this one, it's just basically you pay 1 Counterblast, you get to retire 1. If you don't retire 1, you just get to draw. So I guess it's either you minus your opponent or plus yourself. It's most of the time it will probably be the plus, because your opponent might not call any rearguards for you to retire. I think similar to Blaster Dark, if you don't give him any Counterblast at all during your turn, they could not even retire anything or use their skill. So it's actually a viable strategy, but judging from how Majesty Lord Blaster's skill is, I think you would want to give the damage, because honestly speaking, Majesty is just too tanky. In any case, this card basically functions as more of like a intercept removal, or maybe just retire some of the important units on the board. Of course, you could not target resist units, but then again, having that retire for 1 Counterblast, it's actually not too bad, especially in this deck where there's Counterblast is not really used that much. And then of course, Majesty Lord Blaster himself. There's a lot of skills, but unfortunately, all of this skill is like very normal. Now, don't dislike the video just because I say it's normal. Normal does not mean it's weak. It's still quite strong, just that it's very boring. Continuous Vanguard Circle. If your soul has a Blaster Rock and a Blaster Blade, whoops, this unit gets 2k power and critical +1, active on your opponent's turn 2. Auto Vanguard Circle. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, perform all of the following. You can choose to perform only one. Cost, put a Blaster Blade from your rearguard into your soul. Choose one of your opponent's rearguard and retire it. Cost, put a Blaster Dart from your rearguard into your soul. This unit gets drive +1 until the end of turn. This is basically the similar skill. It's quite similar to the V Premium Majesty Lord Blaster. Just that I think this is probably the most watered down version of it, because, you know, V Premium Majesty Lord Blaster is an 18k base. This is a 15k base. It's still quite annoying. I mean, not really quite annoying. It's still really annoying. For decks that does not really give a lot of power, yeah, you're gonna have a hard time fighting against Majesty Lord Blaster. Luckily, there's no force marker in Overdress. Otherwise, it's disgusting. So you basically sacrifice two rearguards being Blaster Dark as well as a Blaster Blade for a retire one and a triple drive. Blaster Dark is preferably more favorite because, you know, your opponent does not necessarily will have a rearguard for you to retire. Even if they does, most likely the rearguard is very, very less value. So I guess Blaster Dark is the most preferable one, because give drive +1 is always a plus. And plus, if you do retire something, Blaster Dark gets the 5k, which makes Blaster Dark a 15k to 25k attacker. Not too bad. The whole deck does not really use a lot of Counterblast other than Blaster Blade as Blaster Dark. So I guess Counterblast denying may not be the go-to strategy here, because, you know, does not really use Counterblast. So you can't really like stop them from going into their key pieces. I mean, it's really easy to get Blaster Dark to the soul. Depending on what you run in the right line, you only need the other counterpart in order to activate the full effect of Majesty Lord Blaster. So it's a slow and steady deck. It's there to kind of like choke your opponent until they run out of resources or hand, because it's such a tanky boss unit. It's a 15k. It's really tanky. Although 2k is not much, but I'm telling you, defensive wise, it makes a difference. So luckily, this whole deck is a 3 attack deck. Yeah, luckily. If they introduce even one more attack, I'm telling you, this deck is gonna be so broken. But luckily, it's only a 3 attack. It's extremely annoying to go against, I'm telling you that. And that is not all. We actually have a normal order card for Majesty Lord Blaster. Bravery to stand against, Will to pierce through. Play this with Counterblast 1 if you have a Vanguard with Blaster in this card name. Search your deck for up to one grade 2 unit with Blaster in this card name. Reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. So it's basically exchanging himself for either a Blaster Dark or Blaster Blade. It's up to you. Or maybe future potential units with Blaster grade 2 units. Who knows? It helps you filters out the deck, which means that you are more likely to check into triggers with Majesty Lord Blaster. I mean, judging from the few rounds I go against Majesty Lord Blaster, you better PG Majesty Lord Blaster. And as mentioned before, Counterblast is not an issue, so just feel free to use this card skill, because the Counterblast is just not really an issue for this deck. And what's more, I think there is a counter charger for Keter Sanctuary, which makes this deck even better. So yeah, Majesty Lord Blaster. Really boring deck, but it's still relatively strong and annoying to go against. And that is all for this video. Wow, very, very short video. In any case, Majesty Lord Blaster is a welcome sight. Without any power boost, even a slight power boost, you're gonna have a hard time going against Majesty Lord Blaster if you're going second. Going first, I think it's still fine, but going second without Persona Riding, it's very rarely you're able to hit 15k. Unless, of course, you have some other skills that basically gain power. In any case, do like and subscribe if you like this video. And of course, do ring the bell notification icon so that you don't miss a video I upload. With that being said, I'll see you all on the field.